Jimmy, got a special treat for you tonight. You see this young man in between us? Nathan Amaral. You know, he's become a good friend of ours, and we've both known him as a young, energetic entrepreneur. But I was just reading his bio, and it blows me away how much this guy's done. He has really, he's done it all. He's been a real estate investor. He's done money lending. He's built sales teams. He's an author. He's a speaker. He's a motivational coach. He founded the GLOW method, which, Nathan, you can tell us about. He also founded Fearless Life Solutions, which is his most current venture. But among other things he's done, he's built Superstar Solutions, Nathan Amaral International. He's done success training internationally. He's invested in commercial real estate. And one of my favorite things he's done, he's been a Success for Teen ambassador. So Nathan's done a lot of things. Nathan, welcome to the show.
Hey, thanks guys. Thanks Jimmy. Thanks Paul. It's truly great to be on the show with you guys, really.
Awesome. Hey, we're going to take a kind of deep dive in here and let you tell us a little bit about one of my favorite topics, one of my probably biggest challenges, and that's managing time. And I think a lot of people face that issue. So we're going to kind of dive in here. But first, let me say I'm Paul Kirch.
This is Jimmy Tango.
And this is Business Beyond the Trenches. Hey Nathan, thanks again for being here. So we're going to kind of jump in, but why don't you give us a kind of a 30-second overview on what this GLOW method is, because I'm curious about that particular piece.
Sure. Well, over the years, I've been studying about personal development and life achievement, how to achieve goals faster. And the GLOW method actually came out of that from a lot of study, being in a lot of coaching programs. And I studied on how to achieve things the fastest before in my life, before when I first getting started. Achieving a lot of things meant a lot to me at that time. And, over the years, people have started seeing the success I started having, so they wanted to know how I did it. But I just took pieces of different studies that I've done and created my own and put it together and made it unique to me. And I followed it first, and then I started sharing it with other people, and they had success too. So now I share it in one of my courses, and people, when they follow it, they like it. They like it a lot. When they apply it, they get results, and that's the most important part, is getting results.
That's awesome. Well, and I love that, and you know, that could be a topic for another show. We might have to invite you back. We'll see how this goes today. Don't blow it, okay?
All right.
But no, in all seriousness, we're here to talk about time management. So it's something I know I struggle with. Jimmy, how are you doing on time management?
I'm doing a little better now that it's become a real high priority, because I'm loaded down with so many things right now, trying to grow my business and manage all the things that I have going on. So time management became a huge priority for me. So I started, it just, came up like 10,000 notches in my lifetime management. And so I used to underestimate the importance of real time management and using the system. Although, I read the books, so, Getting Things Done, Franklin Covey, all that stuff. But now, that I have so many things that I just can't let slip. Time management is, the number one thing that I kind of focus on right now, so I can really move forward both personally and professionally. So, I mean, it is the thing right now,
I would agree. And it's something that I think most people struggle with, especially in this world we live in, where we're inundated with emails, voicemails, we got Facebook, we got all these distractions and things. So it's like, it's really hard to get, at the end of the day, feel like we've gotten a lot done. I mean, I've read studies where in an 8-hour day, a lot of professional executives are maybe working an hour and a half of 2 hours on a really good day of actual productive time. So Nathan, let's kind of jump in and tackle this. I mean, from your perspective, what's the higher level, starting point? How do you go about respecting, the value of your time, and how do you go about integrating that into your daily plan of action?
Absolutely. Some of the things that you mentioned, Paul, and you as well, Jimmy, are some of the struggles and challenges that our business owners are having in their day-to-day life today. Whether they're just getting started in business, or, top-level executives trying to integrate more tools today than there ever has been. And like you mentioned, Paul, with social media, and the emails alone, most people are inundated. I think the average person has over 500 emails in their inbox on a daily basis, and this has just been an overflow of just the way the world is going with, whether it's email or social media. The communication has expanded. It's become a lot easier. It's become cheaper, and a lot of people are using this. So there's a lot of distractions in that area. Over the years, today we're talking about time management. And I'll tell you this, a long time ago, I was horrible at time management, and how I got started in wanting to get better time, what led me to that was simply the desire and the drive and the need to make more money in my life. I figured out, I was a broke paper boy, delivering newspapers out of my car, and that's actually where it started with time, because I kept trying over and over again. I'm not, I don't have a high level, any like MBA degree, or, I didn't graduate very high in my high school at all, but I had a drive and a big dream. And so I did whatever it took to get the results that I wanted, to achieve my goals and dreams. But there was that one kicker, that one thing that really just stopped me all the time. I was limited to just me. Have you guys ever felt that way before, where you try to get more done, but it's just yourself?
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's been the biggest trap for me since I started my own company. I started to really learn about online marketing, and what I uncovered was that there's a lot of great gurus out there, a lot of great people to learn from, and the more I subscribed to email lists, the more my day just became consumed by emails and offers. And, sadly, I've opted out of a lot of emails, but I still spend a significant time during my day just deleting emails, or I let them sit in my inbox, which my inbox just becomes cluttered. And that's something I'm trying to make sure I don't let happen.
Right. Yeah, for you, it's internet marketing, Paul, and then for someone else down the street, it could be, pocketbooks or Groupon offers, whatever it may be. We're inundated with it's very cheap communication. It's most of it is free. And that's a huge problem. But you agreed. You said yes, that, to grow your business as an entrepreneur, time becomes more and more valuable, because that time is money. And a lot of entrepreneurs feel that way. And the really important thing to note is that how do you make more money with the time that you have, so you can live the lifestyle that you truly want, do the things you want, to give to the charities that you want to, maybe to even build other businesses and get into other ventures or travel around the world. Whatever your heart's desire is, the goal is to make more money with the same amount of time. So over the years, I just crafted, some time management tactics for entrepreneurs to use, whether they're just getting started in their business or they've already been in business for quite some time. It's a simple step-by-step formula, 7 simple steps that gets them from identifying their time wasters in life and how to respect the value of their time, because time is really important when you respect it.
So you've got 7 steps for time management, things that you can do and look at to help you help manage your time. Because one thing that you just said that really struck with me basically is how you manage your time can directly go to how much money you can make or you are going to be making.
Absolutely.
I think that's a huge point that, I know I'm going to take that away. My time management can directly correlate to how much money I'm going to be making.
It's amazing when you put it in that perspective how it became all of a sudden super important.
Yeah.
Before I was like, I don't have enough time during the day, but then when you tell me, hey, you can make more money, it's like all of a sudden,
Rockefeller said it best, Jimmy and Paul, is that he said that, if you want to become, if you want to have more wealth in your life, not just money, financial wealth, but even a healthier lifestyle, there's two things you have to master. And it's to master your finances and to master your time. If you identify where every minute of your day goes and every dollar of your finances go, if you can know where they go before they actually go there, before they are wasted, you will actually make more money and have more time because you will identify it right either on paper. When I teach finances, it's always, spend your money before you actually spend it. Spend it on paper, write it out. How much make a budget. I know sometimes people don't really like budgets, but when you can break it down to the simple form of where your time and your money's going, right in front of you on paper, you'll identify and exactly where the time wasters are in life.
Who knew this guy was so smart, huh, Jimmy?
I'm taking note now. So, I guess that's pretty good. Understanding where your time is going, every minute and every dollar. That's where's it going? I guess it raises your consciousness. Your consciousness of your time. And is that what it is? Okay.
Yeah, absolutely. Because when you become more aware of where your time is going, just watch. I challenge both of you, starting tomorrow, I challenge both of you to, one, pay attention, just simply pay attention of how long it takes you to get to work, or even make breakfast, get to work. How much time do you maybe spend chatting in meaningless chat, or maybe chatting with coworkers, or spending a little extra time talking to someone about life, and then you notice. Let me ask you this question. Have you ever been on the phone call with maybe a customer or maybe a friend or relative, and you only expected to be on the phone for, let's say, 10 minutes, and then it went to 30 minutes, or maybe even an hour? Has that ever happened to you?
Daily.
Daily. How about you, Jimmy?
Yeah, I can't. It happens, and it's you're for me. You're between this point of I'm past the point where I've got really good information in the conversation, and now I need to get off.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. And you know what? That's okay. A lot of people struggle with that. Sometimes they don't know how to exit a conversation. Or Paul, like you said, maybe you spend extra time on a conversation that is not, maybe it's not 100% needed, or whatever it is for you. I'm not going to tell you what it is for you. You identify that. But if you've both ever felt that you spent more time than you should have, or you looked at your watch and said, man, where'd the time go? That's a key indicator. So if you can watch where your time goes and cut those things out, you'll find that you'll have more time. And in the 7-step series, I go over not only what's called respecting your time, because if you respect your time, guess what everyone else is going to do? They're going to respect your time. If you don't respect your time, no one's going to respect your time.
Okay, so that's really step number one, respect your time?
Absolutely, absolutely. And it's actually a key to making more money directly, because if you respect your time, such as, if you were to hold yourself by appointments, from appointment to appointment to appointment, you can actually gauge and measure how much money you make in that amount of time. So therefore, if you're going to have an appointment with someone, you're going to identify how much money you're going to make in that time frame. So if you start respecting your time first, that next person will, the person that you're working with or consulting with, will value your time as well. That's why every successful business owner, they say, "Oh, I'm on the clock," or "on their go," in their, in their average work week from Monday through Friday, they're on the clock, as we say, or they have a secretary that books their appointments because they only work on appointments. If you value and respect your time, you'll definitely make more money because people will take you more seriously. And that's really important. There's a time to get things done. There's a time to play, and there's a time to relax. There's a time and a season for everything. However, if you mix all those things together, it's chaos. and nothing great happens in chaos. In nature, the seasons know when the flowers are to be to spring up, and when the fall comes, when there's a harvest, and when the winter comes. Right, everything's timed accordingly. So nature's got it pretty down pat. If we follow those simple rules, we can have that same success just like nature does.
Right. So
I used to have a mentor who. We would go to networking events, and he had a rule that was pretty hard and fast. He wouldn't spend more than 10 minutes talking to any one person, and he would end up moving on to the next person. So we'd be at networking, like an event or a function, and sure enough, you'd see him work in the room. And it used to be so uncomfortable for me to cut that conversation off. It's like, oh, it's been 10 minutes and this guy's telling me about his dog, and I don't want to be rude, but he made a point to me one time. He said, you'll find that even though we're really uncomfortable because we think we're going to offend somebody, most people are okay with it. Most people they get it. They're not going to be turned off. And so what I used to do diligently, and I have to get back on that track, is I would say, hey, it's been great talking to you, but I'd love to really set up a meeting so we can talk further. And I always kind of set that next step in motion and cut the conversation off short. And I think we need to do more of that in life in general.
Yeah, absolutely, Paul. You bring up a great point about networking as well. Recently coming from a networking event, and this is something I learned over the years. I mean, I'm a big networking kind of guy, and as you say, networking junkie, and I go to a lot of different networking events. But one of the things I learned over the years, because you can talk to a lot of people. There's a lot of people at a lot of different networking events, and you can get a lot of business cards. But, I mean, do you really want to spend all that time collecting all these cards? Maybe you have someone data entering your business cards and wondering if this relationship's going to go anywhere. So what I'm talking about here is saving time with networking. That's kind of the essence of what I'm trying to bring out here is when you're networking with people, you really want to identify the key players or the people that you think you're going to get business with. And you can do that simply in networking by asking the right questions. When you ask them or you identify key characteristics in people, you can speed up the process to doing business and getting things done. If it's just a hangout after work or something like that, or a party, that's a great time to not even worry about that stuff. But when you're business networking, it's so powerful. When you take control of that conversation, and like you said, Paul, when you take control and you're going to let them know it's been great talking with you, they're not offended. They know that you respect your time and you're getting things done.
Okay.
So you've got 7 steps, and can we walk through those real quickly, sure. Nathan? So,
sure, absolutely.
Respecting the value of your time. That's the first one.
Yeah, absolutely. Yep.
Yeah, we talked about that. Eliminating time wasters. You talked about that a little bit. Systemizing your life.
Yeah.
Yeah. Any quick tips for systemizing your life?
Sure. Systemizing your life means anything. If you're in business, or maybe you're working as an executive at a job, whichever one is, you want to do things systematically. You remember, every great business runs on a system. The franchise model is the fastest growing business model in the world that we've ever seen. And today in life, there are systems and tools that we can use to grow our businesses. To systemize it, instead of doing, this is one thing you got to always keep in mind. How can I delegate this task? And how can I get a tool that can do it for me? So you can either use 2 things. With delegation, you can use human resources, or in technology, you use technology resources. And that's really important to systemizing your life in using a system, because then that way you're not doing all the work yourself.
And so what about, you talked a little bit about prioritizing, but prioritizing your time.
Yeah.
Anything else you want to add there?
Sure. When it comes to priorities, the important thing is, this goes down to what's the most important thing on your list right now. Some people carry lists around with them, or they know what they need to get done that day. So what's the highest and best use of your time? and if you want to break it down to the numbers when it comes to money is what's the thing that's going to get me the fastest result at this moment, and go head into what that is and just work on that goal until it's achieved. So priorities are really important. Get in what the most thing that's important that's going to get you the most results that day. Sometimes what people do, Paul, is they take the most important thing and they throw it at the bottom of their list. And they focus on all the little tasks. They get all the little things done, and they never really get that big thing done, and they save it till the end of the day, but then they put it off for tomorrow. It's just the opposite. So I would tell you and all your viewers is that I would flip that list upside down. Do the most important thing, do the biggest thing first, make that your most important thing.
Cool. Okay. So we've gone through, let's see, step one recap. Step one, you respect the value of your time. 2, you want to eliminate the time wasters in your life that you have around. The third thing you want to do is systemize your life. Make systems that make things go automatically. You want to prioritize your time. Step 4. Okay. So now what do we want to do?
Number 5 is examine how you work. This is very important. When we look at the McDonald's franchise, they're not known for the products that they serve. They're known for the system that serves the products. And that comes down to a science. And the science is that, those fries are in that fryolator for a certain number of minutes. And it's done. If you take too many steps over from the fryolator, you get a warning. If you move from one end of the room to the other, there's no need for that, right? You get written up for these kinds of things because everything's on a system. So for yourself as a business owner, is examine what you do. Is your day-to-day on a system? Watch the things that you do, where you go, where you find, this all encapsulates everything, but where you find, when you're doing your work, is it productive? Is it the highest and best use of your time? These are some of the questions to be asking yourself.
Efficiencies there.
Efficiency, yeah. Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Absolutely.
Okay.
Efficiency and like you said, things that are going to be able to help you monetize your business.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So step 6. Go ahead, Jimmy.
Yeah, that's, you're examining how you work so you can make it most efficient. That seems like, that makes sense to me, because you don't want to, again, wasting your time. You want to examine how you can do, how you're working, how you can work better. So that's 5. So what are we looking at after that?
The next one is going to be communicating with others. Really, I know we covered some of this about in networking. How your communication tools that you use today in life and in business is really important. And as we talked about earlier with social media and email, today your communication devices are a lot easier. They're cheaper. It's going door to door knocking today for sales almost seems absurd. It's almost become obsolete these days. Today we have the ability to use tools to communicate with others on a massive scale. And that's really important when you're speaking to your customers and your target market, is the way you communicate with others on a daily or weekly basis. Use tools that are going to save you time to make that happen.
Cool. Yeah, Tim Ferriss in the 4-Hour Work Week, he talks about email, and I love his point in there. There's things about that book I love, things I'm not necessarily in love with, but one of the favorite parts in there is when he talks about email. Email was designed to be similar to snail mail. It was just supposed to be faster and electronic. It has turned into a communication medium where people are, I send an email, you send something back, I send something back, and you feel the urge to respond. So what he does is he actually sets his email to go out towards the end of the day or at times that he knows that it's not going to elicit an immediate response. And I thought that was brilliant, because we all fall into this trap, and that's what eats up a lot of my time is client responses. They send me an email, they want something back immediately. So what I've done to kind of allow myself to function better is I've blocked out certain times during the day. I have like 3 periods during the day where I respond to email. The rest of the time, I try and ignore it as much as possible. I know that if any of my clients are listening, they're not going to be happy to hear that. But the reality is, I can function so much better and be more focused on the tasks I need to get done for them than if I'm in this ping pong game of back and forth trying to respond to everything immediately.
Absolutely.
At the end of the day, they want, it's now.
Yeah.
And I think at the last event that I went to, PLF, someone said your email box is a big hodgepodge of everybody else's priority list.
Yeah, that was awesome.
Stuff everybody else wants you to do. And that's what your inbox is, and that was really good. I that's what I took from that, and I remembered that, and that's really good because that's what it is. Your email, your inbox is a bunch of stuff that everybody else wants you to do.
That's right. Everybody else's priorities. That's awesome.
Yeah, and so I think that's important. Is taking back your time is so important. I think respecting the value of your time ties right into that and helps everybody else respect your time. And the point for me was when I learned how to say no, because I'm aggressive, so I can't just, be mean about it or anything, but how to say no and how to get people to respect your time by saying, okay, I cannot do this right now. I will not do it right now, but I will do it and it will be priority when I do it.
Absolutely. You said you can't be mean, but you're always mean to me. What's up with that?
Fell in love.
Honeymoon's over, baby. Hey, well, you actually said the words that represent point number 7. Nathan, point 7.
Goes right into it, Paul, is, taking back your time. Jimmy, you said it perfectly. It's really about making that decision. This goes hand in hand with respecting your time. You cannot be the savior of the world. You cannot help everyone. Know what you are good at, become a master at it, and everything else, delegate. And if you're going to have people, and I always use this illustration, that you have someone, and this pretty much happens with everybody. It may not be this particular illustration, but you have someone who wants you to help them paint your living room, and you just might feel obligated that it's a cousin or some relative that says, paint my, you want to help me paint my living room. And you, with the kind heart that you have, want to help them, and you go and do it, but you feel frustrated and aggravated at the same time. Have you guys ever felt something like this before with a different example?
I don't like any of my cousins enough to paint their living room, but yes, I get your point.
Absolutely. Well, here's the thing is that there's more power, and you can help your whoever's asking you for help. You can help them a lot more if you connect them with someone who's an expert or specialist at that particular thing. I get often asked if someone wants me to help them move to a new house or to a new apartment, and I say absolutely. But the thing I do, and this is just me, is I actually hire someone to help them move. I find somebody on Craigslist, and I tell them, I say, listen, someone's going to help you move, but I'm not going to be there because I'm not a specialist in that area. And that's really important. Or sometimes you simply just have to say no. But my recommendation is find someone that you can connect them with, because they will remember you like nothing else. And they'll actually come back to you saying, thank you for connecting me with this person.
That's good stuff.
Yeah, I think it's awesome. And I love the idea of taking back time, by the way, because I think it probably makes you happier, probably makes you healthier, because we all get clouded by this mental bog that we get into sometimes with mass communication. Mm-hmm. I've got a lot of things going on in my business, and I've got this show, and I've got a few other things that I juggle, and it just sometimes becomes overwhelming trying to prioritize. So I love that idea and that concept. So I got to think it makes you probably a happier person, which in turn makes you somebody that's easier to work with, which in turn, even though you may not be as responsive to those people, I've got to think that it makes it easier for them to connect to you. Is that fair?
Absolutely.
Yeah. So, Nathan, where can somebody learn more about your time management seminar or any of the other programs you have?
Sure, absolutely. Well, they can go to the company website, which is fearlesslifesolutions.co.co. That's fearlesslifesolutions.co. And there they can pick up a copy of the time management course, and they can get it right there on the site. They can call into our office as well to pick that up. And it's one of the great tools that I think every business owner needs in their life, is to manage their time more efficiently.
Yeah, and I've actually seen the program, and it's excellent, and it's something that I plan on going through myself if I can just find the time for it.
Wow, this has been really good, and I think I'm gonna take these 7 steps to heart, and especially examining my time. That really hit home for me. So, I hope that hit home for a lot of folks that are watching. That was really good. So, Nathan, I really appreciate you being able to share that with us. I can't tell you how much this means to us right now for you to come on.
Yeah, it's great timing, and at a time when I think everyone needs this. I mean, everybody out there in business, there's a lot of frustrations, a lot of people really stressed. Those that aren't out of work or they're in a job, a lot of them are really bogged down by this stuff. So it's awesome. And I think you're making another contribution, which I know you've made plenty of them in your life, and I know you plan to make more. So thank you for that, and thank you for your time.
Thank you, guys. It's been a pleasure to be in on the show and sharing these valuable tips with you. It's been great. Thank you so much.
Absolutely. Hey, once again, Nathan Amaral of Fearless Life Solutions, fearlesslifesolutions.co. This has been another edition of the Business Beyond the Trenches, and I am Paul Kirch, and that handsome devil over there
is Jimmy Tango.
I was actually talking about the other one, but you'll work.
Killing me. All right,
love you, Jimmy.
This is Business Beyond the Trenches. Thanks for watching.